All right, welcome into PrizePicks on 5 here on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. I'm Ethan Skolnick. You can follow me at 5 Reasons Sports and at Ethan J. Skolnick. Above me, we got David Eversole. You can follow him at David W. Eversole. And below, we've got, in the funky purple light, we've got David Friedman. You can follow at Talk About Sports. We always mention this at the beginning. If you're going to play PrizePicks, make sure you're using the code 5. That's how you get your initial deposit match. That's the bonus. So you put down the $100. They're going to give you $100 to play with. You don't have to play it all at once. You can play 20, 30, and you also don't need to go all in when you do play. You can play the flex play if you want to hedge a little bit, or the power play if you want a chance to win more money, but better chance of you losing. So go either direction. Of course, you don't just have to play NBA players either. You can play NHL, MLB when the season's back, NFL on the games this weekend, and you can pair them together. But today, we're going to focus on the NBA and particularly on the Miami Heat. They play the Portland Trailblazers tonight at home, another in this long line of home games after a lot of road games. But there is something to tell you about tonight. PrizePicks has introduced a new feature for the NBA. So they already had the single stat categories, and then they had the fantasy score. Sometimes the fantasy score can get a little complicated for people because they don't really know what's in it. This is going to be a lot easier. This is how I used to run my fantasy league. Points, rebounds, assists. That's it. Those three things combined. So if you think a player is going to fill up the stat sheet, that's a good direction to go if you don't want to play the fantasy score. So I'm going to start with mine, guys. I looked over a bunch of these. The one that really jumped out to me was P.J. Tucker. It seems like a really soft number to hit. He's been playing well. He sort of gives you points early and late and not a whole lot in the middle. But I think the number was, 13 and a half, which I don't know. I mean, 8 points, 4 rebounds, and a couple assists, he's over. I feel like with the Heat being a little bit thinner again tonight, that and against a Portland team that gives up some points, I feel like they're going to spread it around. I'm going to go over. That's my prize pick tonight. P.J. Tucker over the 13 and a half. Go to Friedman next. What do you like tonight?
Well, I'm going to go first back to what you were saying. The thing I like about the new setup is also you're not dealing with negative points, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's part of the fantasy. When you said that's how you do your leagues, that's why I like that. You're not dealing with turnovers. You don't have to worry about that.
Right, exactly.
So I'm going Jimmy on points. I think it was, 19 and a half. I'm going over. With Tyler out, he's going to have to score. They're going to, like you said, Portland's not a great defensive team. I think he can get to the 20 points easily tonight.
No no Lowry and no Hero. So basically their two leading backcourt scorers are out. So it does seem like Jimmy will get a bigger burden tonight. And look, I mean, he averages 22. So, I mean, you'd figure the 19 and a half is a soft number against a defensive team. Eversole, what do you see?
Yeah, I'm going to go a little bit on that Lowry play with him being out. I think Bam might be distributing the ball, just coming back into form in his second game. 3.5 assists for Bam, I think, is a very friendly number. So I like him with that over 3.5. And I was looking at the Portland side. Miami's not a great three-point defensive team statistically. So I also like Nas Little for the Blazers over 1.5 threes. So if you want to pair those two up with this game, I think that's a pretty solid play as well. But for the Heat, I'm going to go with Bam over 3.5 assists tonight.
Yeah, Nas Little is this kind of guy that would seem to go off against the Heat. We saw Simons get it going in the second half last time, but again, C.J. McCollum's back, so that changes the equation a little bit. I'm going to go outside for another pick here, and then I'll go to Friedman. Trae Young at 2.5 threes tonight. I feel like he eclipses that. He's playing against a bad defensive team also, and he gets up a lot of them. So, I mean, a 4 of 12, and he would typically do it. So 2.5 threes tonight. I feel like he's been up and down this season, no question about it. He's only hit that 2 of the last 5 times, but I feel like he goes over it tonight. Anything else get your attention on the board here?
Yeah, David? Just like I was talking about going over on Duncan on the points too, which basically means for everybody else to go under because Duncan constantly hurts me. Every time I take the over, he's under and vice versa. So don't listen to me, but I'm going to take him over on the 10.5. Same reason as Jimmy, right? They got to score points. He'll get a lot of shots. It's CJ on him. Like I'm not too concerned about that. So,
well, what we were talking about this before you came on, and I think with Duncan, it's feast or famine. It's either a really big game. Now, typically at home, it's been famine, but I do think this is a team they can get up on tonight. So I feel like they can play him a little bit more. Only had 8 points the other night, though. But again, he didn't play that much.
I'm not too concerned about the defense. Is kind of more where I'm going with that, as opposed to other teams with the length. So.
No doubt. Yeah, Toronto obviously was a different kind of matchup than Portland is. You got Morant pulled up there?
Yeah, I like Ja tonight over 6 assists. I mean, Milwaukee's in the bottom 10 assists allowed league-wide. So, and he's been playing really well. And Memphis, obviously, overall is playing pretty good basketball. So I think Ja can hit 6 assists tonight as well.
All right, so that's what we like tonight. Again, some of the overs on the Heat guys, 19.5 points on Jimmy. I'm with you on that one. PJ Tucker. The points, rebounds, and assists over 13.5. That's my prize pick. Freeman's going out on a limb here a little bit with Duncan Robinson over on points. We'll see what happens there. I'm going over Trae Young, 2.5 threes. And what else did I own? Nas Little, you like him over. Was it 1.5 threes, I guess?
1.5 threes, yeah.
1.5 threes ever sold. So those are some of the picks we like, and then the Ja one as well. Over 6 assists. Again, when you're playing prize picks, don't just have to play the games we're talking about. Go scan the board. But we're just trying to get you pushed in that direction so you can start thinking about how you want to process this yourselves. Again, use the code 5, FIVE, and you get some extra money to play with. Have a good night.